What's going on, people? We are back at it again. Catechism Tuesday, week 32. I am John. This
I'm
is
Ramon.
All right, man. Let's get right into it. What do justification and sanctification mean? The answer: justification means our declared righteousness before God, made possible by Christ's death and resurrection for us. Sanctification means our gradual growing righteousness made possible by the Spirit's work in us. Before we kind of even get into that, Pastor V, I just think there's a good observation for us to make is in both of these aspects, God is at work. We see in justification, Christ's death and his resurrection had to happen in order for that to occur. But we also see that in sanctification, this process of some sort, that the Spirit of God is actually at work in us. So I just think it's really important for us to understand that these do not make sense without God being at work. And our God is an active God.
Yeah, amen. I mean, that's if you think about so much of what we're taught in this world is you gotta make it on your own. You've got to achieve on your own. You got to fix yourself. You got to fix what's wrong in your life. And there's all sorts of different philosophies and diet plans and therapies and religions, all these things that help do that. And they're not necessarily bad in and of themselves. But we get fundamentally into what makes you right, makes you right before God, a righteous person. I think what the uniqueness of Christianity, the amazing really secret of Christianity is that it's not about what we do. It's what God does.
That's
God
good.
does. And that actually gives you great freedom to know that it's actually God at work.
That's good.
That we need God's help to do the things that we see and answered in this question.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So justification, unpack that a little bit more. As part of our audience, maybe they don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Unpack that more.
So the first thing we give credit to is that God justifies us. And justification, I think, is this declaration. I like to say it's just God saying not guilty. When he looks on you, and I think if you're honest with yourself, me, we're motivated a lot by guilt, by shame, by fear. We feel guilty over things we said to people maybe back in high school. Right? We feel guilty over how we've parented. We feel guilty over certain addictions or problems, all these different things. And so we're always trying to fix ourselves again, to make up for the things that we've done. And the word the Bible uses is sin, the things that we know put us apart from God.
Yeah.
I think justification is just sort of that legal declaration from God. Hey, you are not guilty. You are accepted. You're innocent before me because of what God has done through Jesus Christ.
And that's huge. That part that you said, that for people being you are accepted, that's huge for some people. I mean, I'm thinking about people who maybe grown up without their fathers, growing up with they've always been rejected, been the outcast, been the marginalized. Like for God to say, like, to be accepted, to be declared righteous, like that's not just a small thing.
Yeah.
That's a huge thing to have that affirmation.
Yeah, to have someone look on you and not say, I don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
To have, when you've lived your whole life, parents, society, other people saying,
Yeah.
you're not good enough. For the Bible, for God to say, you're good enough, you're righteous. Again, not because of what we've done, because God puts righteousness on us, Christ's righteousness on us. What an amazing place to start with in your identity. I'm not guilty, I'm innocent, I'm righteous before God. But then, it's not like he just leaves us there. Okay, you're good, you're righteous. God's promise to us is to make us better, to sanctify us.
Yeah.
You want to talk a little bit about that?
I do. So, disclosure, I'm a huge Philadelphia 76ers fan.
No. Come on.
I'm a huge Sixer Nation, man. Still upset we didn't get LeBron, but it's all good. Trust the process. That's our slogan with the Philadelphia 76ers. And I mean, in a real sense, like, trust the process. The sanctification, it's a process.
Yeah.
So when you look back at your life, hopefully you can look back and say, man, I am not where I want to be. But I'm not where I was at.
Yeah.
You're not stuck in the mud.
Yeah.
God is at work, and He is sanctifying you. He's making you more like Him. That's the goal of this, right? To be like Jesus, to be like Christ. So, you want to say something?
I was gonna say. I mean, that's, I think, one of the best ways to encourage you in your faith. If you're wondering, is God real? Is Jesus real? Look in your past. Look far back into your past. And while it's not always, it's not just a straight line. It may be jagged, but it is going up. I think the promise of the Bible is that God is working, Jesus is working, and if you look in a lot of different ways, small ways and big ways, you see how the Lord is faithful to make you more and more like Him.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, and looking back at our past, sometimes it's not pretty, but I mean, think about man, the pornography that maybe you used to look at, and look how the Lord has brought you far from that. Looking back at the past where you used to sleep with a lot of women or men, if you're out there, right? And looking where how the Spirit of the Lord has brought you from there. Looking at you being an alcoholic, or and how the Lord has brought you from that. So this sanctification, I just want to say, it is a process, and the cross of Jesus is where we can always go whenever. I mean, essentially, when we do sin, it's always like, well, how fast do we go to the cross?
Yeah.
So justification and sanctification, these two things are very important. God is at work in these, and I just want to encourage. We want to encourage everyone in this, that if you're out there and you're struggling in your faith. These words are not just terminology just for the sake of terminology. These words are important, and they actually help shape the way that you should live out your faith.
No doubt.
So I think we milked that pretty well. What do you think?
I think that's good.
All right, man. Well, there you have it, folks. Catechism Tuesdays, week 32. We are out. Love God, love people. Peace.